instituted with you SOAR kids last year, right? 60 of them or whatever it was per topic, or number doesn't, I don't get hung up with the quantity. It's the quality. More is always better. I think I'd rather have more opportunities at that information and be able to differentiate between what I want to use and what I don't want to use. I do use note cards as an integral part of building my outline. Okay, so before I get started with that, and I don't know how in depth they went with the idea of note cards. I know some of you, how many of you are using note cards right now? All right, what's great about that is, number one, you have that information. You don't put too much information on one card. Between 1 and 3 ideas, I think is plenty. Make a point of copying down something that will, some type of bibliography information on the back. You guys know as well as I do, how many times have you done research? You get done, close to being done, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, my works cited page or my annotated bibliography, and then we have to go back and search for a resource that we used a month before. It's a horrible feeling to have to do that when you already feel this, you're almost done. So I always make a point of putting that on the back side of the note card. When you're done compiling your research, what I like to do, and I'm going to use the whiteboard for just a minute. What I like to do, can I erase October? You guys really need to get your items in this week, okay? We got 2 days left.
And then 2 days next week. They're due by Wednesday of next week.
Bring them in. We got a pretty good bin, but I know not everybody's contributed. There's got to be stuff around the house you guys can use. So I have my note cards, okay? And somebody give me a topic.
World War II.
Okay, World War. That's pretty broad. Can we narrow it down even more? Yeah.
Pearl Harbor.
Okay, Pearl Harbor is our topic. And during the course, so I've done all my research, okay, on Pearl Harbor, and I've come up with 60 note cards. And now it's time to start identifying what am I going to talk about in terms of Pearl Harbor. All right? So let's come up with at least 3 main categories regarding Pearl Harbor that we'd like to discuss and inform our audience about. Yeah.
The difference between the Japanese and the Nazis at that time, people still think that they were the same at that one point.
So what would be your point? This would be a primary point in your.
The Nazis weren't attacking us; it was the Japanese who attacked us.
All right, so maybe I formulate that into a main point. Well, why? The rationale and the reasons why the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. Give me another potential one. What would you want to know about Pearl Harbor? Don't be bashful. Go ahead, Somerset. All right, and we could lump a bunch of different stuff in there because we just don't want to throw out 2 statistics. That wouldn't be enough for a main point per se. So how about we label this with aftermath? Okay, or I'm just going to leave it there. I don't want to over detail. Give me one more. Matthew, did your hand go up?
Yeah, wasn't that big ship that got sunk, the USS Arizona?
Yeah.
That could be one. I mean, I wanted to talk about like how that affected us. That was
the memorial.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is okay. We'll go one more point. All right. I think that we can cover that in the why, but how about the attack itself? I would hope we'd want to cover that. The details, what happened that day. There's been countless movies made about it. So let's just say the attack. All right, so what I'm gonna do, folks, and you notice I have a capital letter by inches. I'm gonna go through those 60 note cards, all right, and something of this magnitude, I would probably have at least double that, okay? And what I'm going to go through, and I'm gonna have 4 piles, A, B, C, D. A are my why cards, B is my aftermath cards, C are my memorial, all right, about going to Hawaii and seeing the USS Arizona, the memorial, what else has been done to memorialize that battle, and then the attack itself. So once I've organized these, I've essentially just organized my notes for my outline. Okay, you see how that works? And then those of you who know me better than others, I'm a bit more anal when it comes to organization. So not only am I going to put these in categories, I'm also going to number them in the order I'd like to use them in my paper, in my presentation, what have you. In the movie I'm going to make, whatever that presentational element is, I'm going to organize them there too. So I may have A1 through 25 and so on and so forth. It's a great organizational tool. I also have 2 subcategories that I usually use. If I come across, and I'll get into this when I get into the outline, I'm going to have 2 categories, intro and conclusion. During the course of my research, I may come across a startling statistic, an anecdotal experience from somebody who was there, whether it's a soldier, a bystander, if you're lucky enough to get one from one of the Japanese, something that will totally hook my audience into listening to whatever it is that I'm going to explain to them, inform them about. Yeah.
I would like to interject that those are commonly called fun facts in middle school.
Oh,
Notice how fun facts are no longer a part of your main points. So you will not have a paragraph or a section of a poster, fun facts about photosynthesis, okay? If you find those very interesting tidbits, now they're going to become your attention grabbers, your conclusions, those kinds of things.
All right.
Sorry, I have an issue with fun
that's
facts.
perfect. Yeah. And no one just wants to have an information or a portion of their presentation on strictly statistics or what have you. I'm going to get into the different components or different ways to introduce a project, an essay, etc. in just a minute when we get to there. So I think you always have to have these 2 in the back of your mind. All right? Granted, this is the meat and potatoes of your presentation, your paper, or what have you, but you have to come up with an intriguing way to introduce your meat and potatoes, all right, and to wrap it up and have some dessert, okay? I like food analogies. All right, so let's move to the outline.